All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'm one of the yoga instructors here for Yoga for Caregivers. So, this is our weekly stretch session where we focus on getting into our bodies, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries. Notice, where are you ready to extend into postures? Where do you need to modify and come down to the mat? Or perhaps find your center posture. Also, keep in mind I don't often cue water, so if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed, they can be straight out in front of you. We're going to wiggle back and forth, rooting down into the sits bones. And for me, I'm up on a block. Maybe you're sitting on a prop as well, or perhaps you're just down on the mat, excuse me. Well, inhale as we lengthen through the spine, and then go ahead, bring those shoulders on the inhale forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. One more time, inhale the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. Find a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on your legs, palms up or down, or in your lap. Tuck the chin slightly so you're long through the spine, all the way through the crown of the head. You're welcome to close the eyes or perhaps just find an unmoving point and soften your gaze here today. When looking up the meaning of purity, the first two definitions start off as freedom from, and then go on to specify some type of vice or concern. It's interesting that purity is framed as a form of freedom, when it's often referenced as a type of limitation in pop culture. In thinking about purity and freedom, it can be helpful to think of the term purify, which means to remove contaminants from or make ceremonially clean. Though this sounds very formal, we often purify ourselves in daily life when we shower, drink clean water, and take deep breaths. We free ourselves from the contaminants of living a human life, which at times can prevent us from being healthy and living in alignment with our highest values. As you move through the practice today, I invite you to allow it to be a form of purification for your body and mind. See if you can remain fully present on the mat with each move, each breath, and each moment. Notice how you feel when the practice is over. So settling in, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you feel your belly swelling outward like a big balloon. And then exhale as you draw that belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand, your collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhaling air in your nose, down your throat, filling the lungs. And then exhale as you squeeze that air out of the lungs. Move it up your throat and then out your nose. Continue to breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling with intention, just noticing the movements of the breath here. Notice how it feels purifying every time you let out that old air and welcome in that new. Now, if your mind wanders off on a thinking adventure, the moment that you've noticed you've gone away, that's mindfulness. You've done it. Celebrate the noticing and then come back to your breath. Come back to your inhales and exhales. Now, if it feels right for you, perhaps incorporating a mantra here to help you stay grounded and focused on your breath. Inhale, I purify. Exhale, with intention. Inhale, I purify. Exhale, with intention. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. Taking another deep breath here as you set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale the breath out as you set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. Go ahead and remove that prop. If you're sitting on one, make sure that your space is nice and free and clear. Legs can be straight or crossed here, whatever feels good for you. And then we'll inhale, sweep our arms wide, bring them up overhead, cast the gaze skyward. Exhale, drop that left hand down to the side, step your fingers over to the left, and then reach over to the left through the right fingers, coming into that seated side bend. So top palm is facing the floor. We're feeling the pull through the side body. We're rooting into the right sit bone. Left hand is gently pressing into the mat. You can always come down onto the forearm if that's accessible. Options, of course, not requirements. So notice where you are. Gaze can stay off to the side or it can turn up toward the ceiling here. Whatever feels best for your neck. Good. And then we inhale back into center, left arm tall. Exhale, right hand comes down to your side. Step it about a foot out to the right. Lean over to the right as we reach through those left fingers, seated side bend. So again, top palm faces the mat. We're long through that side body, feeling that opening right in the torso space. Left sits bones rooted onto the mat, pressing into the right hand. So we're keeping ourselves rooted. And then perhaps that elbow drops down. Option, not requirement, of course, right? Gaze can stay off to the side, or again, maybe turning it up toward the ceiling, toward the sky, whatever is above you. Feeling that nice stretch through the neck. Couple deep breaths here. Great. And then inhale back into center. Reach both arms up toward the sky. And then exhale, bring those hands down. Great work. Let's go ahead and extend our feet in front of us. Soles of the feet are on the floor. Knees are up in little mountains. We're going to go ahead and step our left foot out to the side and curve that right heel around to the left hip here. So it's kind of tucked under. And then that right knee is straight out in front of us. We're then going to step this left foot over the right knee. So now that right knee is up in a little mountain. Couple options. You can take this right arm, wrap it around the left leg, and simply rotate over to the left. Stay here if this feels good for you. Next option is to sweep that right arm tall and then exhale, bend at the elbow, bring it to the outside of the knee, and then press into that leg, rotating around, coming into that seated twist. Right hand can be down at your, or left hand, sorry, can be down at your side or behind you, curving that nose around as far as you're able here. This is half Lord of the Fishes pose, I believe. Just a nice seated twist that also gets into the hips a little bit. Feel that pull through the right shoulder blade, twist through the spine. Just a couple breaths. Great. Inhale, let's gently untwist. Legs stay where they are. Let's rotate right over to the right. Plant the hands. Little yoga push up. So exhale or inhale, bend at the elbows, lower down toward the floor, release on that low back. And then exhale, press back up. Great. Let's go ahead and come onto the opposite side. Uncross the legs, soles of the feet are on the floor. And then again, step that right leg tall this or right leg wide this time and bring that left heel around to the hip. Then go ahead, take that right foot, cross it over the left leg. So now this left leg is up or right leg is up, knee in that little mountain. So again, your options, wrap that left arm around the right leg, curve over to the right. Great option if this is where you're at today. The next option is we sweep that left arm tall, exhale, bend at the elbow, and then left arm comes to the outside of the knee. Press into that leg as you rotate the body around. Right hand, for real this time, can be down on the mat or behind you. Notice where it needs to be for your body. And then curving that nose around. So we're getting that nice twist through the upper spine. Again, as we come into this posture, feel that twist in the spine, feel that pull through the left shoulder blade. Couple deep breaths here. Notice too what the hips are doing. Can you feel that little bit of a pull in the stretch there? Good. Inhale. Exhale, gently untwist all the way over to the left. Plant those hands on the mat, yoga push-up. Inhale, we lower down, bending at the elbows. And then exhale, we press back up. Just a little bit of a release on the back. Great. Uncross those legs here. I'm going to turn to the side and we're going to extend our legs straight out in front of us. So feet are flexed. We're rooted into the sits bones. We inhale, lengthen through the spine, sweep those arms up overhead, and then exhale, come into your forward fold here. Now, if this is your first practice of the day or week, you might not go very far. You're going to reach a point where your back says, oop, that's enough, far enough. So wherever you reach, allow the hands to continue down into a comfortable spot. Maybe that's on the mat. Maybe that's on your legs here. As we sit in this posture for a few moments, a few breaths, notice if the body allows you to sink a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, not a requirement. Keeping those toes moving in toward the shin so we really feel the deepness of that stretch from the calves all the way back into the back of the thighs and into our hips and even our low back space here. Wherever you are, tuck the chin slightly so you're really looking down at the legs here. So we're long through that spine, really taking care of our spine, not craning the neck. Just a couple breaths. Great. And then we inhale. Let's go ahead, walk ourselves back up into center. Great work. We're going to lean over onto the right and then take that left leg, sweep it around, bending at the knee, and then lowering the top of the shin and the foot down onto the mat. We'll then lower our left hip back onto the floor. So we're coming into this runner's stretch here. So top of my foot and my shin are on the mat, but my hips are sitting to the inside of the leg. Right leg is flexed, and we still have that foot pointed up toward the sky. Now, you can stay right here. If this is enough of a stretch through that quad and the knee, right here is great. Awesome option. I'm going to keep a block nearby. If you'd like, you're welcome to lean back onto the hands. Fingers can point toward the body or away. Notice what feels right for you. You're welcome to stay here. Next option, you can always use props to lower down onto the forearms to incrementally step down, right? And you want one on both sides here, which I don't have at the moment. Or if it's accessible, you can come down onto the forearms on the mat. Option. Now notice wherever you are right here, we're not kind of crunching forward with the chest, but instead we're pressing into the hands or the forearms, lifting that torso, kind of like in our fish pose here, so we're not crunching in our low back. Final option, if it's accessible, you can lay flat down on the mat. I will not demonstrate that, but it is accessible for you. Or if it is accessible for you, it is an option for you, I should say. So wherever you are, let's take a couple deep breaths here, feeling that pull through the front left side of our bodies.